My thing is he just tears everyone down because if you're a life coach and someone needs advice for their life, you have to break their life down. You have to make their life seem like it needs improvement.
There's a how. There are other life coaches in business that do not do that.
That's how he does it. And that's
people seem
working.
to, you know what? People
I can't knock it because it's working. People,
they're sadistic. That's what it is.
Maybe, but also, you know, maybe he sometimes you have to break somebody down to build them up. I don't necessarily believe in how he's doing it. I think that's what he thinks he's doing. Like, if you ask me, I think he'd say, well, look, I'm telling you why your life is going the way it is.
Well, there's no reason for him to think otherwise because people watching his
So
videos.
my point, I'm not talking to him to tell him to change things. I'm talking to people who don't know what's going on. And I'm like, look, any of these thought leaders, whether it be even I used to get in arguments with Dr. Umar followers all the time. I'm doing my Voodoo Man series. I'm talking about black ideologies of freedom. What does freedom look like? How can we free ourselves from the system? Which is something that Dr. Umar, that's where he lives in that.
Right.
So I talk to his followers all the time, and they're like, well, Dr. Umar said this, Dr. Umar said that. And I'm like, that's cool, but have you ever thought of anything outside of what he said?
Right.
Like, there's more
what
teachings.
What do you say?
Yeah, what do you think about this? I'm open to everybody's opinion. I think it's great that, I actually think it's great that Kevin Samuels is out there offering his opinion. I just don't like how people are taking it as gospel.
Here comes Ryan got the red.
I'm glad you said that because you don't believe people have agency and independent thought. You just think everyone's a lemming. And I think that's what you're afraid of, right?
That's what they do.
But not everyone does that. These are the extremists, right? So, I think there's going to be a loud minority of people who follow Dr. Umar and go into conspiracy and take all. But I think at the core of all these conversations is people are trying to figure out the new world order or what all these changes are in flux.
My pushback
and
would
so
be,
it's important for these conversations to be had because with things changing, I know that you guys don't believe in any sort of structure, but you have to have, there has to be some kind of organization to the world, and maybe the organization of the world will change, but there has to be a organization.
There will always be. So there's two things that I'm going to mention. First, I'm going to say that people do just follow stuff, and more than ever, people get into these bubbles. Like, social media creates bubbles of thought that if you think a certain way, you'll find more people that think that way. You'll think that this is accurate. And this is proven by so many weird theories and weird groups of people that have found their group and emboldened them to even dive deeper in that.
But why do you think certain ideas win over others?
That's a great question. Here's why there's certain ideas. Because when people are ostracized, when people feel alienated, or people are not having success, like Kevin Samuels, a lot of times, the reason that men are looking to him is because they're not having success in their relationships or with women. And a lot of times he's speaking to men who I think could be on the cusp of becoming, what are they called?
Incels.
Yeah, they're on the cusp of becoming incels a lot of times. Like the men that are on his show, not the men that just watch the show. The men that are on his show, I'm listening to them talk. They're like, yeah, I'm 40. I'm at home. I never had a girlfriend. I don't know. I'm like, you're on the cusp of becoming an incel, bro. And he's trying to help them, figure out what the patterns in their life are that need to be broken to not do that, which is fine.
One thing I do find similar between some of those men that do call in for Kevin Samuels, but the few clips that I've listened to while you were listening, and some people who do follow Dr. Umar, is that the critical thinking skills, the level of analysis.
Well, this is what I'm saying. It's not
there.
even that. It's that they're on the outside looking in. Like, if you're a black guy in America and you feel like, man, I don't know why I can't get a job. The system got me caught up. And Dr. Umar comes and he tells you, like, this is how it was designed. This is what's supposed to go on.
People attach to narratives that
attach
empower them
themselves to that. They find a community in that. When Kevin Samuels is telling you that, look, women don't really know what they want. Their idea of how relationships work is not right. And you're a man and you've been having trouble with women. You're thinking, yeah, this is right. Sense. And you latch onto these ideas, and then you latch onto the person who is preaching these ideas. It's not nothing new. It's the same as church and religion And when you have a preacher who's very charismatic, that's what these guys are.
I think with Kevin Samuels is that, because if I share a Kevin Samuels thing,
Yeah.
no one will comment except for people who disagree. But I will get messages from many guys saying, yo, that's true.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm not saying I agree with everything.
Who else?
But hold on.
I'm going to ask you one quick question. Who else did that happen with? Who else was saying stuff like that? People would say, like, I posted this pro-Trump thing and everyone would argue with me.
It is like
but
that.
It's a cult.
It's not a cult.
This is what I'm saying.
It's not a cult.
No, it's
Kyle.
fine.
Oh,
But it's fine to say that. It's okay.
No, that's a bad characterization
Why?
of the situation. It's that Kevin Samuels says certain things that ring true to many people.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been allowed to be said, or you would be shamed for it.
I don't know if that's true.
It is true, because that's why they're secretly messaging people saying, yo, I agree with this, but they publicly will not be allowed to say it. We live in this cancel culture world where if you do not follow the
cancel culture,
wokeness that's
cancel
out
culture
there,
is not real.
Yes, it is. They canceled Trump. They deleted Trump, and literally his influence went away when they banned him for Facebook
Trump,
and Instagram.
Which they should have done a long time ago.
Trump had
You
an
open
attack
up a can
on
of
the
worms.
White House.
You open up a can of
Not
worms.
the White House. He had an attack on the Pentagon. Like, what are you talking? Like, he incited that. That was like he's been in
the
state capitol.
I'm
He's
just
been
saying,
inciting
then they're going to ban Umar,
inaccuracies.
then they're going to ban Kevin Samuels, and they're going to
They're not
ban all
gonna
these
ban
other
them.
people.
They're not
But
going to ban
that-
Kevin
but-
Samuels.
but
They ain't going to ban Dr.
They're not banning nobody.
All I'm saying is that's evidence that you can cancel people.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Listen,
That
the people who have actually been getting canceled, like really silenced, you don't hear about.
I know, and you're supporting canceling people
I'm not
when you
support.
support
I
canceling the president.
I don't believe in. I don't think cancel. I think that's a phrase that people say, but it don't happen.
All I'm saying
Who's been
is
canceled? Harvey Weinstein committed crimes, went to jail. R. Kelly committed crimes, went to jail. Who else been canceled?
all I'm saying is fundamentally
Donald Sterling was a racist. They took his team.
there are some truths to what he's saying, and
But
that's why
the
it's
thing.
identifying with people, and it's not allowed to be talked about, or you will be shamed. And
You won't be shamed.
Just like I don't agree with Trump supporters, but they feel similarly when they want to talk
And
about.
But you should be shamed.
They're not
See,
canceled.
and that's the problem, though.
But that's the
That's
thing.
my personal
They're not
opinion.
canceled. Someone
they are
agrees with Trump.
not allowed in public society.
They
without-
are.
Okay.
Have you looked at it?
Did
Have
you just
looked
see
at-
Nikita's reaction when they should be shamed?
Okay.
Is what she said,
Pro-Trump.
right?
Yeah.
And
you
guess
should
what?
be shamed.
If you are pro Biden, the Trumpers will shame you. It's
not the
it's
same.
it's sides.
It's not the same, but
It's the same thing.
I'll let y'all go.
I don't know why you think it's. I don't know why you think it's not the
But
same.
that's also the thing with why people latch on, because these people are able to drop little seeds of the actual truth and things that resonate, and then tell you all this other stuff, the fluff, the propaganda, the whatever else, and make it theatrical.
We live in a world of otherisms. All this stuff is otherism. You know, the idea of Trump, and this is my biggest problem with with Kevin Samuels. My biggest problem is he's not doing a good job of bringing men and women together. All he's doing is dividing them. Like I have never seen any of his stuff where it's like, yeah, this is going to help build a foundation for a relationship, which is what he's saying he wants to do. Now, I know he says that all the time. Like, he says, yeah, women message me. And if that works, great. I'm not saying it doesn't. What I'm saying is the public comments, the things that go viral, promotes otherism. Just like Trump, just like when anyone is a hardcore believer of anything, you're now othering other people. You know, if you're a Christian and you don't think that, you know, there should be Jews allowed in your neighborhood, you're othering them, then I can't get down with you.
Othering them when you shame them is what I'm trying to say. Is that what happens is these groups are becoming even more othered because they are being contained there because people are judging and shaming them.
No, they do it to themselves. This is what I'm saying. Like, look.
If you have an opinion, if, for instance, a pro-Trumper, you have an opinion, and your opinion that you hold is endangering my life, I am gonna shame the heck out of you.
Right. There's a line where it's, you know, it's no longer just an opinion. There's a line where there's truth and there's fact, and that's a completely different thing. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, yes, it's cool for Kevin Samuels to believe in high value men, to say what he believes. I'm not ever called for canceling him. I'm not calling for canceling Dr. Umar. I'm not calling for canceling anybody. I want them to fight it out. That's what I want.
Ding, ding, ding.
But
we need a bell up here.
But the issue is people that follow them go to an extreme. Like they have extremist followers. And they don't really understand. What do you want?
Everyone has an extremist follower. You
Okay.
can't judge people based off of their followers.
That's why I said I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to people that are listening to
You
them.
can't do anything about the extremists.
My point is
They're
people
extremists.
people should not follow people that hard. They're all humans. This is the same thing I said with Derek Jackson. It's the same thing I'm saying with Kevin Samuels. Same thing I said with Dr. Umar. You have to, if they have some truth in there, cool, great. Listen to that. Use it.
Right.
But
Pick the
understand
seeds
that,
out from the
yeah,
shaft.
like everything they say is not gospel.
Skyns.